Aye, shepherd's pie. Greetings from the Philippines. Back in Sibilan, Negros Oriental. Just taking a little walk around my neighbourhood. This is the posher part of Sibilan. So, age gap relationships. I know I've discussed this subject a couple of times. The reason I'm revisiting it is the old comments. Excuse me, bloody hot today. It's the comments. That's what drives my videos really. People say things and I start thinking about them. And I think about them. And I make a video. So what got me on this one was I did a video, the last video I did. I don't think it was even about age gap relationships. I think it was about Dumagetti. But someone said in the comments, I can't remember their name. Well, I can remember the name, but I might get it wrong. I think I can remember the name anyway. That these old age gaps aren't real relationships. They're not real. And that people fool themselves into believing them real. And basically, if the guy can look in the mirror and he can fool himself it's a real relationship, then it might work. Now, that got me thinking, what the fuck is a real relationship? I mean, seriously. Now, I know myself, now a lot of people may disagree with this, but I'm confident of this now because I spoke to so many Filipinos who've said the same thing. That the primary motivation from the female side in these relationships, the Filipino side shall we say, is money. It's economic stability. Now I believe that now 100%. Regardless of what people will say. If you're 60, 70 years old mate and you're with like a 20, 30 year old Filipino, do not fool yourself that the primary motivation to you getting together in the beginning was financial. It was. But that doesn't mean you can't have a great marriage. In my opinion. Because I did a bit of Googling after I read those comments. 55% of the marriages in the world are arranged marriages. And why do people arrange the marriages? Well, they arrange them because they're looking for a good match for their children. A match that will be beneficial to both families and financially stable. Now, before I moved to, oh, nice bit of shade here. Might hang around here for a little while. Before I moved to the Philippines, I lived in a place called Leicester. And I grew up in a place called Newham. And both of those places, the majority of the population of those two area, London and city, was majority non-white. I don't know the statistics for Newham anymore, but in Leicester, I think it was 55–60% of Asian descent, and the vast majority were Hindu. Most of them, a lot of my good friends, most of my friends in Leicester were from India or Indian descent. I mean, most of them were like second or third generation, but I did know a few who had come over. Now of them, I had 3 or 4 really good friends growing up in Leicester their whole lives, but they had arranged marriages. One of them, my very good friend Bav, his first wife was, he'd met her, I don't know how he'd met her, I never met her, they were already divorced when I met him. But second marriage, he asked his dad Ramesh, he said, sort me out an arranged marriage. There's some nice houses behind me, really nice. I haven't quite worked out how to do this old 360 camera. That's why I said it's the posh bit, so I don't know how, got to work out the editing. It's a complicated camera. It may well be that you're getting it anyway, but I'm seeing myself on the front. But anyway, he married a girl called Sue from India. He went over there with a dad, found her in the village or whatever. Dad knew her parents, whatever. They got married. Trust me, I knew them together for 5 years and we're still in touch now. That is a real relationship. They are in love, right? But it was arranged. Does that not make it real? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are a number of, or a high percentage of relationships over here, the old age gap, where they're not in love. They're just together because of the finances. Okay. But I'm sure there's a big percentage as well where they do fall in love. You know? I mean, what is a real relationship? I've been married twice. There were no financial motivations in those marriages. But it didn't work, we fell out of love. Still friends. I'm gonna have a little walk down here, see what's down here. A little side street I've never been before. But, so are they not real? And what I'm getting at is we have this very acute Western view of marriages. That, you know, it's love at first sight, you get together and you're madly in love. Well, realistically, what percentage of the marriages in the world is that? People get married, they stay together. Hold on a second, there's a small road and a bike coming past me here. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, we have a very acute view of what marriages are. And I think that's half the problem in the world, you know, at the moment. This Western view we have, we think the rest of the world thinks like us. We're very insular, as a general rule. The older, no, there's music down here, so I'm turning around again. And it's not how the world works. Not how the world works. I'm Mindanao. They have arranged marriages there, I believe, because it's you know, a large Muslim population over there. I know a guy in Sikil. He was married to a girl there for 10 years. He loved her. They got a kid together. And they're not together now. They split up or divorced. Apparently you can do that if the Muslim partner agrees to it. Now he's with another girl, he's got a girlfriend over there. They've been together for a couple of years. Is that relationship more real than the one you had in Mindanao? I'm asking the question, fellas. But at the end of the day, if I get with a girl in the Philippines, and I've done quite a bit of dating here, I'm well aware that a lot of the attraction is the financial side. But that's the same in any country. I've said it before, you know, at the end of the day, you know, women tend to want to feather the nest. Men are looking, you know, when you're looking for a life partner, you're looking for look. Aye, Shepherd's Pie, the old camera stopped, started overeating there. So I've had to stop and start it again. Yeah, hopefully it won't overeat. I've taken off the old HDR now. I'll put the stabilisation back in the old editing suite. Yeah, so really, I mean, I don't know why people are so quick to judge. So if you see like a 30-year-old guy with a 25-year-old woman walking down the road, does that mean that relationship's real? She might be a gold digger, he might be an arsehole. They might hate each other. There could be a million reasons why they're together. At the end of the day, you've got to look at things differently. In the West, we're very lucky, the majority of us, to be financially secure. So we can put different priorities on relationships. If we were poor, we would have different priorities. So what I'm saying is, it's like, you know, the average Filipino, the average Thai, I mean, I live in Thailand for a few years. The average Thai's ambition is to be a housewife. It seems to be, that's the same ambition for a lot of Filipinos. They look at the world differently to Western people. And who's to say who's right and who's wrong? And if you look at the world differently, you're going to have different interpretations of what a real relationship is. Are you not? It's getting a bit deep, this one, isn't it? I don't know why. It just bugged me, this comment, like, you know, people can look in the mirror and fool themselves that it's a real relationship. Now, I get that bit. To me, if you're fooling yourself, then I've got split emotions about that. If you can fool yourself, power to you. I can't fool myself. I've been fooled, don't get me wrong. When I first got here, I was in a relationship with a girl, and I managed to fool myself that it was real, and it wasn't. She was after money. But I worked it out quite quickly. But I should have realised that straight away. Once I realised, there was no way I could fool myself. But if someone can, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I mean, I could fool myself more. If I could let more things go, I'd probably still be married now. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. The point I'm making is whether you fool yourself or not. If the relationship works for you, then it works for you. If it works for the girl or the partner, then it works for them. If it doesn't work for them, but you stay together, is that not a real relationship? I mean, in the UK, in most Western countries, you go back 100 years, men were generally older than women. You know, it wasn't unusual to have 10, 15-year age gaps. You look at the old Hollywood stars, all the sex symbols, like they're in their 50s and 60s, half of them, Fred Astaire and all that kind of nonsense. Their marriages worked, or people stayed together longer there. Was it because they couldn't get divorced, it wasn't as easy? Probably. But the point is, when you look at your grandparents and people like that, who stayed together, married for 60 years, were their relationships real? You'd like to think so. To them it was. Did they stay together because they couldn't get divorced, or it was more difficult? Some will have done, some won't. The point is, the world changes. Your definitions of real relationships change. It's all about perspective. Anyway, I think I've made my point. The camera might overheat again in a minute, so I'll round it up, fellas. Not one of my best videos. Not always great at explaining myself. I'm just a bit surprised how quick people are to judge other people in terms of their relationships and things like that. Very noisy here now. You know. What's my conclusion? What the hell is a real relationship? I saw a guy the other day, he's got a channel, I won't dig him out, and he said a successful marriage or a real relationship was if you had children. If you didn't have children, it wasn't a successful marriage. Personally, I think that's a load of bollocks, but you're each entitled to your opinion. I've been married twice, didn't have any kids. They were real relationships, and we lived together for 10 years, for Christ's sake. Wasn't successful by his definition, but we were both happy. I mean, his whole point was that the old reason of marriage was to procreate and produce children. That was the definition of a successful marriage. Well, if you are an animal, you might look that way. And don't get me wrong, humans are animals. We're the fifth ape. But we're intelligent animals. So we have the ability to think above our natural urges, to make decisions that aren't genetically to the advantage of the species. You know, I'd like to think so anyway. I know some people can't. Anyway, I'm going to round this up now. But I'll pose a question. What is a real relationship? And are you lying to yourself when you look in the mirror? And if you are, and you're doing it successfully, tell me how. Anyway, I'm going to round the video up now. I'm going to pop back to my apartment. I'm going to have shawarma. If you enjoyed the video, hopefully someone did, smash the old like button, subscribe to the channel, I'll be very grateful, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, be lucky. Nah. can't stop recording.